click on the notification bell to get more updates.
Nonetheless, and I always feel like you look at here. We spoke about early on that we need to cancel those wide players coming in because that's where they found the danger, because they realize that it's not easy to penetrate Banyana through the midfield, so they go out wide. But then we need to stop all those crosses. But I think also coming to Banyana, we fail to play under pressure. Whenever they press us, the front three, they press us, we're unable to come out with the ball. Whenever we're trying to play out, we lose possession and we end up defending too deep.
And that's what Coach Desiree Ellis was talking about, playing out of pressure, ensuring that you don't lose the ball, but if anything, you're comfortable to build up from the back. Let's look at that, because from that set piece, they have the possession, but Caitlin Swartz as well, that particular mistake as everybody's trying to push up.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many numbers, so many bodies in front of her, and I think maybe we could have maybe at least take maybe a little more step forward, or maybe throw the ball. But that's another mistake again that we created for Brazil to be able to score. And I think that coach has alluded that before the game. She did say that the less mistakes that we make, the easier the chances for us to be able to actually get a goal.
Adriana with the opening goal in the opening 5 minutes of this encounter. For Banyana not to settle. If anything, from that moment on, they did seem a bit disjointed as well, because you look at how Banyana was unable to get out of their half.
Look, we struggled to get out of our half nearly because there's not enough numbers in and around the ball. So we want to play those long balls, and we don't have that accuracy to be able to reach our players. So therefore, Brazilians, what they do is they win those balls, then they start attacking, and then you realize also we have less numbers in terms of defense. So we need to be able to have in and around the ball, have more players to be able to rotate the ball.
We look at some of those opportunities, and it came from the wide areas, and I think Gamete has been one of those players that have really had a really tough time on the flanks today.
Look, Lerato, to play on the flanks, it's not a joke, and this is also one of the opportunities that we got. And I think, you know, whenever we get our passing right, we do have speed, we need to use it, but because of now we don't use that as often, we don't realize actually how Brazilians also, they are a little bit weak at the back, so we need to play more in Brazilian half to be able to exploit that with their speed.
Mokhaya has been so comfortable for the ball, but you look at that particular cross and just Jermaine.
It is early first time ball as well, and that looks like a foul from the advancing Beatrice.
Very impressive to see Nokolo Tasana really tracking back that deep just to make sure that she covers the lines, or just to provide the cover of the back four, of which it's important to track your players. You have to.
Lovely little touches in there from Adriana once again, and then the shot balloons over the cross anyway. They're given possession away again. Well, there's not much in the way of support from the Brazilian camp. But just for a moment, it almost seemed to be, you know, if you watch ducks flying in the air in a formation. Touchline. Oh, the ball's been knocked back into defence by Adriana. And Super Senwe deciding to opt for the opening corner of the match for Banyana. Banyana was a low and flat, a header away. Still an opportunity. And from that sort of shot that comes in to the penalty area, there's always a chance for a handball, a deflection. And you've got to take those opportunities. And South Africa did have that shot. Looked like it's almost...
Because you never know when the right pass comes through.
Mokhaya once again. And they force into making the clearance from Tamires. And again, it's that combination of Hilda Mokhaya and Jermaine Siopasenwe. We saw that possession settled a moment ago. South Africa dominating possession in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. And these are the defining moments that...
By virtue of commentators. Vermeer into the middle. I think Siopasenwe was offside. That's another lovely... With Geyso, who's on the bench today. Into the Silva Ferreira. South Africa with turnover ball. The pass maybe. Keeper comes in and stays on her, comes off her line, and she'll get punished for that. She came off her line, and then she thought, oh my goodness, we have made a mistake. She gets caught in no man's land. The ball tipped over the top of her. Brazil score a second before half-time, and that is 2 goalkeepers' mistakes, 2 goals for Brazil. It's just not on, is it?
I think the South Africans will be really disappointed. Critical phase of the game, being punished just before half-time. And once again, it has to be a bit more clearer. Lob over the ball, over the defensive line. Davina says thank you. Both South Africans clashing into each other. Better communication, Kevin.
Yeah, it was Janine van Wyk and goalkeeper Kaylin Swart to come adrift from each other. No problems at all for Deborah D'Oliveira, and she finds the back of the net. And well, they led by 2-0 on Friday night. They lead by 2-0 here as well, Brazil. And yeah, when you're playing against a side in Durban, for how long? That back pass is not very weighted. Well, and she's off her line as well now. He's the goalkeeper. There's a really good opportunity for goal number 3. And that's going to be a penalty. Might even be a sending off for Kaylin Swart, because would it be seen by referee Malogo as a clear goal-scoring opportunity? Beatrice burrowing away into the penalty area at the second time of asking. Swart comes out bravely and unfairly knocking over the 28-year-old Brazilian striker. So the referee pointing to the spot. Kaylin Swart picks herself up and has to face a penalty in the opening few minutes of the second half. Have a look at this again. Got herself in trouble again.
Again, Kaylin Swart just caught there. I thought with that clearance, just get it height and distance and just thump it away. But I guess this time around, just a miscue from Kaylin Swart.
Well, it wasn't a clear goal. Take the penalty kick. Brazil lead by 3-0.
3-0 now for the Brazilians, and the unfortunate part about it is that they didn't really have to work hard for these goals. These are just defensive errors from the South Africans, who are just being punished off of that.
Happy coach Sunhaga. 3 goals on Friday, 3 today. Easy penalty, really.
Easy penalty for Beatrice. She knew exactly where she...
Penalty area as they set up another opportunity here, looking for the near post, and Jacqueline didn't react quickly enough. But twice at the end of the second half and the beginning of the first half, the beginning of the second half, goalkeeper Kaylin Swart caught very indecisively and perhaps backing herself too far to come to the edge of her. South Africa defending a little more shallow towards the halfway line. I don't think that's a bad ploy, making Brazil think a little more about the ball dinked over the top. Offside flag stays down here, and a chance for Depina to make it 4. Well, they've missed the opportunity on 2-3 occasions, but finally the ball's dinked into the back of the net, and it's Duda who makes it 4.
Duda makes it 4. One of the subs that starts this evening for the Brazilians. As she celebrates that one, the Brazilians now definitely sailing away with it. But interesting enough, Kevin, you talk about just the defensive block of South Africa right in the middle. But that is also very suicidal. If it is that we do not have the pace to match the Brazilians, they obviously want to look for those pockets of spaces behind the South African defense and just run onto it.
I thought it was rather clever, I must say, from Adriana. If we have another look, you just see it on the right-hand side of your picture. She played the ball, she was in an offside position. So she went into the goal of South Africa to allow the ball to get back to Duda, and then she wouldn't have been offside when Duda struck the ball because she was in an offside position. But she made sure she was off the field of play, being behind the goal line, inside the... Will float in by Depina, the header's in there. I thought it was offside, but it's not. Brazil have a fifth. Sleepy, and where was the protection on the near post by the defense? Looks like it's Catalan who's got herself a goal. Brazilian supporters absolutely buoyant this evening, and why shouldn't they be? Coach Pierre Sunhaga absolutely delighted, and Catalan going across to get a high five from the coach.
Once again, it's just those aerial duels that South Africans seem to be struggling with. And this is it. Teko Modiso is absolutely correct. The South Africans have to avoid conceding those set pieces just near their goal lines, because they cannot compete aerially. The Brazilians are dominating that aerial duel in the box.
Well, while we see the celebration of the Brazilian goal, there's a whole bunch of changes that are going to be made, and one of them is Beatrice. Oh, nearly another opportunity, and that's a clear foul by Asanda Hadebe, whether she intended it or not. Good burst towards the penalty area by Geiser, and impressive as an attacking midfielder suddenly as well. Nice to have that sort of versatility. Oh, there's space here for another goal. Davinia still a chance. You don't think those. Davinia. She knows it.
She knows it, and just that sixth goal for the Brazilians.
Wide smile on her face. She could have had a hat-trick tonight. She has a brace, and it was created very nicely on the left-hand side by Carolyn.
Carolyn, one of the subs that have been instituted for the Brazilians. She enjoys running at defenders, getting in those crosses. Dabina unmarked, and she says thank you.
Beautiful elevation. Look at the elevation she gets here. She's unmarked. Absolutely no chance for Kaylin Swart. And again, that smile on the face of the Swedish-born coach of Brazil. It's a coolish day in Durban. Not often we have the opportunity to say that, but Davinia completing her brace. Oh, that's going to be a yellow card, surely. The tug of the jersey by Carolyn Ferraz. Offside anyway against the Brazilians.
The Brazilians once again just showing how threatening they are every time they surge forward. And here just a diagonal pass once again, bypassing the midfield. Just too